back to the channel, and in today's video we're doing a recap and review of Married at First Sight season 12 episode 6, Defending Your Wife, Jacob and Haley. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, smash that like button and also drop a comment down in the comment section below, because I do like to engage with my viewers and subscribers. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. So it brings us to the scene where Jacob is expressing concern about combining all his friends with Haley, giant group of friends. And of course, they're laughing about it. He's wondering how they're going to just mesh all of the friendships together. And, he's definitely trying to process everything. At this point, it seems that Jacob is really into Haley and everything. But, it's going to remain to be seen as we move forward what's going to happen with this couple. We also now see Haley complimenting her husband on being really respectful. And the girls even agreed that Jacob seems so into her so far. And then Haley even spilled the beans to the girls that she and Jacob actually slept together after a fun night of drinking. And, it seemed at the moment that, she is happy about how everything is going. And, how she's expressing her enjoyment with her friends. But from previous episodes, I'm not sure if I actually see the deep connection there. Now, she's the person that hasn't been dating for about 7 years, I think, or so. So it's going to be interesting to see how she actually can do this with Jake. So when the couple reunited later on, Haley said that she was starting to like her husband, but, she was a little afraid of losing her independence and needed to report to somebody every day about her whereabouts. And then we see Jacob said that, he's having a hard time trying to figure out Haley's comfort level with intimacy, because she seemed more reserved in that department, and he always had to make the first move. And Jacob told his wife that he wasn't sure she liked him, and Haley promised she was trying to get there. Now, Jacob found, Haley very difficult to read and hoped that she opened up a lot more. And, maybe she can put her guard down. But, it's definitely a concern. And I find it interesting that he said that she's more reserved in that department. So I don't know if maybe he's a little bit more creative and maybe she's not. And that's why she says she's trying to get there. The thing is that, they said after, Jacob said after they had sex, she's not being receptive to him in general. And that's not what I expected marriage to be. So definitely Jake is feeling, a little energy shift after they had sex the other night. And like I said in previous episodes and from, the conversation he was having with the guys, he's really into her. But she's so reserved and he, not easy to read. So Jacob, especially after having sex with each other, he's not sure where she's at. And by her saying, I'm getting there, it's going to be interesting. Now, Jacob, I'm wondering if he realized it's only been, 4 days, I think, at this point that they've been married. They never met before. So it's probably going to take her some time to kind of warm up to him. Because, 4 days, jumping into a marriage is obviously different. So even though he's maybe, able to easily just go right into the marriage as it is, Haley is obviously having some difficulty. So some communication definitely has to be had here. And he's, seemed like he may be getting a little defensive. But hopefully, she can get there. And of course, we know what we saw at this point of the episode. But yeah, Haley is definitely really reserved. She hasn't been in a relationship in 7 years. And the thing about all of this is that if she's not ready to move as fast and, she needs to take her time. But at the same time, she has to consider her husband and vice versa. So we're on day 6 of the marriage now, and 4 of the 5 couples, minus Virginia and Eric, joined for dinner. And they were also there as well. Of course, we saw Vincent and Brianna. We saw Clara and Ryan. And then, of course, we saw Chris and Paige. This is where we saw Paige apologize and thank everyone in the group for being supportive, open, and honest. We also saw Jake sitting down at the end of the table looking like, okay, can we move on? And then Haley is also, because they weren't on that ATV thing with everything that went down with Chris, Virginia, and Clara. But, honestly, Jacob was like, you know what? I really don't give a crap about all of this. But he did give Chris the benefit of the doubt. But his face was hilarious. It was like, you know what? I'm just here for the food. That's it. Of course, we do remember the scene of Eric and Virginia finally showing up. And then the whole back and forth, which if you haven't checked out the other 2 videos I did about these 2 couples, go check that out. But at the end of that whole explosion, Jake was just sitting there at the end of the table by himself like, okay, is it time to eat yet? That was hilarious. So now we're later that evening with Jake and Haley, and Jacob asked Haley how she felt, and she just responded with, I don't know. Haley apparently told Jacob that something was missing and that she needed more time. And Jacob didn't know how to react to that, Jacob recognized Haley was starting to pull back. He seemed desperate to find out what's missing between them. Jacob said things were awkward between him and Haley as her guard is up, and she wasn't being open and receptive to him. And Jacob, told Haley that he's trying to treat the relationship like a marriage. But Haley said in their conversations had hit a wall and they weren't going to a deeper level. There is just something that's not clicking for me, Haley, she confessed. And Haley suggested that they had sex too early because she did what she thought she was supposed to be doing. And Jacob said Haley had pulled away from him and he couldn't see their relationship being successful at that point. Haley acknowledged that she and Jacob were viewing their relationship in totally different perspectives. But Jacob said his wife shutting him out makes things worse. And Haley said she'll try harder, but the process for her was very difficult. She's going to have to be a little bit more transparent of why she's feeling the way that he is. Because obviously he wants to know. He's desperate to find out what's going on with her. And obviously the deep conversations aren't being had because she has her guards up and her walls up. So, it's going to be interesting to see if they can talk this through. So I don't really know what the turning point is for Haley that she shut down on Jake, especially if they were having a good time hanging out in Vegas. And if you remember from episode 5, they were wearing these little 80s retro glasses and had dinner together. So, I'm not sure what the situation is. I've been looking, of course, the comments on social media saying, well, maybe it was the sex. Maybe it was too much for her because, she said she's a little reserved. He said she's a little reserved in that department. So, maybe there's some things that if that is the case, I don't know. But if that is the case, maybe it's something he can teach her. And we see Jacob telling the cameras that Haley told him that she was going to a girls' night the night prior, and he told her to have fun. But when he went to the lobby of the hotel to get some food, he saw all of the couples there together. And as soon as he turned the corner, the guys ran off and bolted. The truth of it is, Haley did not want me to be there, and she did not tell me that she did not want me there. And he said that's just kind of unacceptable, to be honest. When you intentionally lie like that, benefit of the doubt is gone. It's out the door for him, and it's been pretty awkward since. If we want to work with this, we have to change the playbook. And the playbook that she's playing right now is destined for failure. From the previews next week with them moving in together as a couple, Jacob is definitely not happy with her. So let's do our post notification shout out. If you want to be shouted out, drop a comment down below. I will see you and shout you out. This week, it goes to Druzy G. And I'm glad you enjoyed the review. Thanks for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate it. Next is Terry Brooks. Thank you as well for engaging the channel and your comment. I really appreciate it. And last but not least, Terry, and I want to make sure I pronounce your last name correctly, Arhegan. Thank you as well for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate that as well. So until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.